Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Danelle. Welcome back to Networkchain. Hope this finds you doing well. Today we're going to talk about the cryptocurrency market, especially after that big dip that we had earlier in the week, and a couple news stories coming for other cryptocurrencies outside of Bitcoin. Let's go ahead and get started. As you can see, Bitcoin is currently trading at $60,573. It's still down a bit over the last 7 days, but it has rebounded back from that large drop earlier in the week. It is down 2.3%. Ethereum still struggling a bit. It's currently trading at $2,600. It is down 13% over the last 7 days. We see Solana is actually up almost 1%. There's some news there. It is now trading at $153. XRP, they also had some big news this past week. They are up nearly 5% over the past 7 days, just under 60 cents. We have Toncoin still in the top 10. Dogecoin still down a bit, down 8.8%, trading at that 10-cent range, and Cardano still hanging in there in the top 10, trading down still at 6.63%, trading at about 35 cents. So if we look a little closer at the Bitcoin price, we can see earlier this week, especially considering the labor numbers that came out of the U.S. the week prior, as well as the Japanese government indicating that they will be raising their interest rates. And so with that, they a lot of investors who were trading in the Japanese yen market, there's such a thing as a carryover trade. A lot of people were trying to unwind from that trade now that the yen was not going to have the arbitrage that a lot of investors were using in borrowing the Japanese yen. And so that was a reason, or part of the reason, why Bitcoin and also equities had a large drop earlier in the week, this past week. And you can see Bitcoin was currently, at that time I should say, was trading at around $60,000, and it dropped all the way down to 49,000 was the low on August 5th. And this was about an 18% drop in 24 hours. So, as we've discussed many times before, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are extremely volatile. As a trader, they love it. As an investor, you have to have the stomach for it. But if you hold, or hodl as we say, for an extended period of time, at the end of the day, when you zoom out, you see that Bitcoin is still doing extremely well over its existence. We can see that it bounced back about 25% over the last several days, over the last 4 to 5 days. So it just goes to show you an example of volatility in Bitcoin in just 1 week. If we look at the macro when it comes to the global cryptocurrency market and look at the market cap breakdown, you can see here we're looking at the breakdown over the past year. We have seen lower lows and lower highs, so that usually is an indication that we could continue to go a bit lower. We haven't seen any indication that we're going to have a leg up. We're going to have to see if Bitcoin can get above that 62 range and stay above that, and then heading back towards the all-time highs in the $70,000 range, and then move forward. But it's going to take a little bit of time. But as we mentioned with Bitcoin, it's extremely volatile, so it can make violent moves up and violent moves, as we've seen, down. So it's definitely something to keep an eye out for. But you can see currently that Bitcoin is just over $1 trillion in market cap. We have Ethereum at over 300 billion in market cap, and you see all others are around 570 billion market cap if you consider the stable coins as well. You can see the volume as well as the Bitcoin dominance. You can see here a lot of times Bitcoin dominance will go first in terms of it having the most portion of the market cap, and then once Bitcoin makes its larger move, then the other altcoins will make a move shortly thereafter. So we're still going to keep an eye on that. We still haven't come into the so-called bullish run where Bitcoin could go into ultimate high highs, but we're still waiting to see if that happens. Many prognosticators believe that it'll happen in 2025, so time will tell. So we see that there are options volatility in the derivatives market, which can be done a lot of times outside of the US in other on other exchanges around the globe. and it goes into the options volatility for Ethereum. And as you can see, it's been trending downward over the past year. So Ethereum has been outperformed by many coins, but they do have the ETF that is now trading on the public markets in the United States. So many believe that that will be a catalyst for it to make its run sooner than later. And if we take a look at the market cap of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in total, as we see here, it is currently at just over $2 trillion. So if we compare that to gold, and a lot of people compare gold and Bitcoin, saying that Bitcoin is the new gold, the digital gold. People believe that Bitcoin in time will take gold's market cap. So if that is the case, then Bitcoin still has a 10 to 12x from here. And so as you can see, gold is currently trading at around a $16.5 trillion market cap, and in comparison to some of the other largest equities and companies in the world, it is currently ranked number 1. Apple is number 2, currently at $3.2 trillion, and then Microsoft right behind, as well as Nvidia around that $3 trillion mark. And if you go down a little bit further, you can see that silver is currently at number 8. So Bitcoin is not above silver at the moment. It has traded back and forth a few times over the last couple of years. Bitcoin is now trading at that number 10 slot at nearly $2 trillion, just below Meta platform. So Bitcoin still has a ways to go to capture that gold market cap, but it is still doing quite well, hanging in there at the top 10 when you look at the assets ranked by market cap, including the largest companies in the world. So let's make a jump over to what's going on with some of the other cryptocurrencies. You can see here that Solana ETFs are inevitable in the US after the Brazil approval. So earlier this week, we found out that the Brazilian Security and Exchange Commission, which is known as CVM, has approved a Solana ETF. They already had a Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF that's trading. So this is the first step in it to actually getting traded on the public markets in Brazil. There's still another approval that needs to be made, as well as other registration filings and things of that nature, but it looks like it will be trading very shortly on the Brazilian public markets. And so many believe that now that we have a Solana ETF that's going to be hitting the markets, that it is inevitable that it will be coming to the US in some time. So you can see that while Brazil has emerged as a trailblazer in the realm of crypto ETFs, the United States, which is a traditional financial powerhouse, is grappling with a more cautious approach when it comes to allowing for digital asset ETFs. But many believe now that we have Bitcoin, and especially now that we have Ethereum, which is considered an alternative coin and a smart contract platform, that we could soon have other digital asset ETFs. And then at one point, we probably will likely have a basket where you'll see different cryptocurrencies inside of one ETF, and it'll be following basically like an index of an S&P 500. You may have a crypto 100, something along those lines. So it's still early days, but people are prognosticating that this is something that's going to happen in the next several years. So obviously we'll keep you posted to let you know as we hear more information about that. But this is big news, and Solana did see a nice jump up on this news, and it is still outperforming Ethereum. And actually Solana versus Ethereum, it has actually reached the highest it has over the past couple of weeks in terms of how much Solana has outperformed Ethereum. The other big news in cryptocurrency was that the lawsuit by the SEC versus XRP, or I should say against Ripple, which is the company behind the XRP blockchain and token. They have now concluded that case. The judge has fined Ripple $125 million regarding their sales to institutional clients, which is actually a lot less than what the SEC was trying to get from the Ripple Labs company. They were suing them for nearly $2 billion, and the judge imposed a $125 million fine, saying that it did violate federal securities laws when it came to its institutional sales. The biggest news that had come out of XRP was in relation to this lawsuit was in 2023, when the judge found that the sales of Ripple to retail clients through exchanges is not considered a violation of SEC regulation. So there still is a possibility that the SEC could appeal this ruling by the judge, but at the time the lawsuit is now concluded, the judge has fined Ripple for their civil penalties related to the institutional sales of Ripple token. And they also banned Ripple from future violations of federal securities laws, and saying that while she isn't making a judgment that Ripple has violated any laws after the SEC filed its lawsuit, the company may well cross the line in a section referring to Ripple's on-demand liquidity offerings, but rather the court finds that Ripple's willingness to push the boundaries of the order evinces a likelihood that it will eventually, if it not has already, cross the line. But on balance, the court finds that there is a reasonable probability of future violations meriting the issuance of an injunction. So the injunction document requires Ripple to file a registration statement if it intends to sell any securities. So now that this is finalized, Ripple and XRP looks to potentially make a run. There's a huge, what they call XRP army that has been waiting for the conclusion of this lawsuit. So time will tell what Ripple does as we continue going in this bull market. Right now, we have seen, as I mentioned earlier, looking at the market cap of crypto, lower lows and lower highs, so we could continue to go a little bit lower. That is always a possibility when it comes to cryptocurrency, but make sure that you find out as much information as possible before you do any trades. We do not offer any financial advice, so make sure that you're doing your due diligence. Please make sure to keep posted here with us on X as well as IG. We post there nearly every day. Thank you so much for watching. We hope you have a great start to your week. In the meantime, take care, and we look forward to linking up with you soon on the Networkchain. Bye-bye.